Hi. So we're going to have a look at Egyptian creation myths. There are lots of different ideas about how creation was formed in ancient Egypt. There are four main ones. And you have to remember that these are collections of stories, that they evolved from 6000 BCE. So it's roughly sort of 8,000 years ago. And it was there to explain their natural environment, their imagined environment as well. And they were all passed around verbally for those thousands of years before eventually they were written down by the priests in the temples. What these four common creation myths have about each other, so we're looking at the Hermopolis one, the Heliopolis one, the Memphis one, and the Theban one. What they have all in common is it's about the waters of chaos. It's about the mound of creation emerging from the waters of chaos. And it's about the birth of the sun god Ra. So if you take that all into consideration, what are we talking about? We're talking about a great flood, the land emerging, and the food growing on the land. So really, these creation myths for those 8,000 years, from 6000 BCE, is the farmers who are moulding these stories. Okay, so we'll make a start. The first one we're looking at is from the city of Hermopolis, and it's about four male frogs and four female snakes. They come out of the waters of chaos and they build a mound, and then on that mound they fashion an egg, and from the egg the sun god Ra is born. So that's really the Hermopolis creation myth. Now we move to Heliopolis. Heliopolis is a little bit more complicated. Their creation myth. So in the waters of Nu was a being, inept being, just lying there, called Atum. And Atum has an awakening, and he appears on the mound. From the mound, he masturbates, he spits, and he sneezes the next generation of gods, resulting in Osiris, which represents fertility, Isis, who represents motherhood, Seth, who represents chaos, and Nephis, who represents change. Then from the east, a mythical bird, sometimes depicted as a heron or phoenix, laid an egg on the mound of creation, and the sun god Ra was born. So that's the Heliopolis creation myth. Next up is the Memphis creation myth. So Memphis was the seat of the god Ptah, and Ptah represented craftsmen. He had an idea in his heart, so that's where it began, from his heart, this idea. From his mind, he created the world, and from his speech, he created the gods and all things. So that's the creation myth of Memphis, very basic and to the point. So it came from his heart. I've got an idea, because the Egyptians didn't realize that the brain was the powerful organ of reasoning. They thought that all your emotion came from your heart. The idea was here, the world was created from his mind, and the gods and all things were created from his speech. Nice and simple. The last one is the Theban one, which was created by the nome of Waset. So Waset is the Egyptian name. Thebes is what the Greeks called Waset, and we call it Luxor today. Now this was created, I think, from sort of maybe somewhere in the Second Intermediate period, to explain Amun as the all-powerful deity in Egypt. we know that Amenhotep I of the 12th dynasty built a precinct to Amun at Karnak, next door to Montu. And at that moment, he wasn't the king of the gods. So I think this creation myth was written somewhere in the 2nd or maybe at the beginning of the 18th dynasty to explain how he became all powerful. And really what it does, it takes all the other ideas, chucks it into a melting pot and says, aha, he is the all-powerful knowing. So Amun is the hidden force behind all things. That's what the creation myth says. He is beyond the stars and deeper than the underworld. He has caused the stillness of the waters of chaos. So he stopped the inundation. He is the result of the events from Heliopolis, Memphis, and Hermopolis. He is the ultimate source of creation. So that's what it says in the creation myth, that he's the ultimate source of creation. Well, that's how the Egyptians explained their physical and imagined world and how they all got there. You have to remember these stories are forms of entertainment at night time. So if you're a farmer, you're not going to be able to afford an oil lamp. So stories are told after a meal, and before you know it, as soon as it gets dark, you go into bed. Farmers get up when there's a sunrise and they go to sleep when the sun goes down. So these are stories there to entertain children, to inform them, to educate them about their world. Okay. Right, so that brings us to the end of this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny. And thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.